Formerly lazy people, what things did you do to overcome your laziness?
One recent revelation that I had about motivation and action was that so much of what I decided to do was very much based on whether or not I was sitting. Sounds kinda dumb, but, do I need more water? Yeah, but I'll get it next time I get up. Do I need to check my work email? Yeah, but I'll check it next time I get up. Do I need to chop those veggies for dinner? Yeah, but I'll do it when I get up. It's inertia. I don't want to put in the effort to start something if I'm already at rest. I enjoy rest. Rest is comfy. Rest feels nice. So, I started to turn it to my advantage, at least a little. I sit on my ass at rest for as long as I please. Eventually, I will have to get up. Everybody's got to go to the bathroom sometime, right? So instead of just going to the bathroom, doing one thing while I'm up, I do two things. Doesn't matter what they are. I'm standing, so I'm in action. Take care of whatever forced me to get up, then do something I know I also need to do. I don't push myself or go on cleaning sprees or anything. But once I'm up, I just think, might as well do this while I'm up. Silly little idea, but it's been working for me. And then when I've done two things, I return to my sitting on my ass position until the next time when I will accomplish two more things. Older revelation, squeaky wheel theory. I have a theory that there are big stressors and little stressors in our lives. You got the big ones, money, jobs, relationships, etc. The ones that individually feel like they're enormous, life-fucking stress bullets aimed directly at our brains. Then you got the little ones. Bookshelf that's crooked, squeaky door hinges, etc. The shit that you notice all the time, every day, but never take action to change, because you think you should be working on the big stress stuff. But big stress shit doesn't change in a day, a week, a month, or years. Sometimes the big ones are just a part of life forever. What happens is that eventually, you ignore the little shit, because what's a squeaky door mean to you when you're in a lot of debt, or your relationship is on the rocks? Why bother with it? Here's why. Because stress adds up. For a mathematical metaphor, let's say you're in debt, and that debt stress is causing a massive 30 pounds of stress that isn't going to go away anytime soon. Then you have a shitty job where you hate your boss and loathe going into work every morning. 40 pounds of stress right there, and it ain't changing anytime soon. That's a lot of stress. But then you have that squeaky door, but that's just annoying and inconsequential, but it's still 1 pound of stress. Then you have that bookshelf that's 1 inch lower on one side, but that's not a biggie, but it's still 1 pound of stress. And you really should clean your bathtub, but no hurry, but it's still 1 pound of stress. And then there's that mess on the table that you should really clean up. That's maybe a 2 pounder. And then you have, 80 other 1 pound stressors in your life. Added up, that's about as much as the few big stressors. The main point is that probably a good half of all the stress we feel can be fixed in, 2 hours. Money problems ain't gonna be fixed on a Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m., but by golly, you can WD-40 the shit out of that annoying door hinge in 20 seconds. You can slide a block of wood under the side of the off-center bookshelf in 30 seconds. How long does that dirty tub take to clean? 2 minutes. Just take an hour a week, maybe 2 hours a week. Deal with the little shit, and I guarantee you that your world will get better. The big stuff will still bother you, but that's okay. It'll just mean that there's not 80 tiny things hanging maliciously over your head all the goddamn time, for the low cost of an hour a week. About the big stuff, I realized I wasn't really lazy. I was just afraid of failure and lacked confidence. I think my subconscious logic was that I shouldn't bother to try because I was likely to fail and end up in the same place anyway. So why put in the effort? As cliche as it sounds, what got me out of that was to start to think of failures as just practice runs for whatever I wanted, so I could learn to do it again differently until I got it right. I also tried to train myself to feel excited about the potentially positive outcomes, rather than dwelling of the dispiriting nature of the possible negative ones. Another simple thing that keeps me trying is thinking about what my PhD advisor said about applying for grants, which are so much work and competitive now it sometimes can feel like it's not worth the effort. There is only one way I know to guarantee that you won't get a grant, and that's not to apply for it at all. It's a pretty good counter to my old argument of, why try if I am going to fail anyway? Don't overcome it, harness it. Laziness is only a vice if you let it control you. The trick is to game it. Do a few tasks now that save you time down the road. So by being less lazy in the moment, you can be even lazier later. One of my big ones is to prepare a huge pot of some food I particularly like, green chili stew, for instance, on Sunday, and then just make it my primary intake for the rest of the week. If I plan well, I can go entire days without needing to put on pants. Changed my method of thinking. Do a task while I'm thinking about it, and just be done with it. Gets it out of my mind, and I no longer need to be thinking about it. Do not paralyze myself into inactivity. It doesn't need to be done perfectly, it just needs to be done. I can always revisit and look for ways of improving or being more efficient. Challenge your brain to be hyper-efficient. How you can optimize your time in a given moment to get the max things that need to get done in the shortest amount of time. You have 10 things that need to get done. You only completed 5. You still completed 5 things. Next time, you have a target for improvement. Use laziness as a reward and not a barrier. I reward myself with doing nothing for 3 hours, once I've cleared off all my tasks. Few things feel better than doing absolutely nothing with a clear mind. I pretend I have a drill sergeant in my brain and I'm in boot camp. Every time I am tempted to leave something until later, the drill sergeant tells me that is not an option. To get the fuck moving and get shit done now. And then I get it done because I don't want to be that guy that can't seem to leave things better than I found them. Finally, appreciate the effort. When you do something, give yourself some credit. That shit matters. Remind yourself that taking care of your life, in all aspects of it, is a benefit to you. You are worth taking care of. Lazy is a label. It's not a word that defines who you are. You are either doing what needs to be done, or you make the choice not to. Make the choice to do it. Be proud of how productive you are while feeling good about the mindset. You can do this. I was pretty lazy when I was in the Navy, to the point that I worried I had no motivation for anything and would never make it very far. I eventually got married and got out of the Navy. I started college and was living off of the GI Bill, and it was awesome. I went to school just a couple of hours every day, and otherwise I was playing video games with the wife. Then, one day, we were heating up top ramen for the bajillionth time for dinner, and my wife just started crying. Not crazy crying, just a soft sob, and she got it under control really quickly. I asked her what was wrong, and she said that she was just so sick of eating PB&J and top ramen all the time. From that moment on, I've become driven. Got a job while going to college to help with some extra money, finished college with great grades, got a software development job at one of the Big Four, and am constantly working on improving myself and our situation. Lately, I've dialed back a bit, and we've been spending more time together, and it's fantastic. It was what I needed to get me moving. I just couldn't stand to see her so sad when there was something I could do about it. This is going to get buried, but I always use the 10-second trick. Whenever there is something I'm hesitating to do, I always play this little game. Close your eyes, count to 10 while taking deep breaths. Then when you hit 10, you open your eyes and just do whatever it is you're avoiding. It's like I made a little mini pact with myself and then followed through. The key is that you have to do it once 10 hits. If you just don't, then you've broken the pact and the cycle of procrastination takes over. So you have to do it. It sounds lame, but I started doing it when I got really depressed and was having trouble with even basic stuff. But I just started doing this counting mini pact thing. Alarm goes off, I don't want to get out of bed. Count to 10, and when 10 hits, I have to get up and out. Don't want to brush my teeth. Hit 10, then I have to do it. Etc. Etc. Eventually you create a cycle of doing instead of not doing, and it gets easier. Eventually, you don't even have to do it as much, and when you do have to count, you always follow through because you've sort of trained yourself like one of Pavlov's dogs. I'm a student athlete, and that means I have to be very efficient with my time. I find it easier that I succeed more when everything around me is in order. I was pretty lazy, spending a lot of time playing online games, putting off laundry for weeks, waking up before practice and rushing to get my bag ready for practice and class, and that would lead to forgetting textbooks and pens. So I took a weekend off. After practice on Saturday morning, I took a caffeine pill and took a nap, woke up feeling refreshed and ready to clean. I started with cleaning up general items around my apartment and putting them back into place. Then I cleaned the kitchen from top to bottom and just worked my way to my room. Eventually, I got everything as clean as I possibly could and decided to call it a day. On Sunday, I spent the whole day organizing my workspace for school. I made a detailed calendar, budget sheet, daily timetable for the week. I added assignments and important dates on the calendar and highlighted days I would miss important tests because of competition, then would email the professors. I deleted and unsubscribed from emails, organized my desktop, made sure everything had a place. Efficiency was the key for me. I wanted everything in my life to be organized so that it was efficient. Eventually, I got everything cleaned up and promised myself to try keep it this way. I find planning things out in your head to make it as efficient as possible before you do something made my days easier, and I got more done. Every minute mattered to me, and eventually I measured my tasks into minutes, and I could predict how long everything would take. And that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it, and don't forget to comment with a similar anecdote or experience related to the video's topic. Leave a like, share the video if you enjoyed it, and lastly, don't forget to activate the notification bell so you don't miss any of our daily videos. Ciao!